Some people leave your life quietly. No explanation, no dramatic goodbye, just distance. And yet, long after they're gone, something keeps tapping on your awareness. You try to ignore it. You tell yourself it's just memory, just habit, just attachment. But deep down, you know this feeling is different. It isn't loud, it doesn't beg, it doesn't chase. It waits, like a message paused in mid-air, never delivered, never erased. You didn't imagine the connection, you didn't misunderstand the bond, and you didn't hold on for no reason. The reason you're still sensing them is simple and unsettling. Something important was never spoken. Tonight, we're not revisiting the past. We're listening to what was left unsaid, because sometimes the truth doesn't leave with the person. It stays with you. 1. The moment they walked away. When they left, it didn't feel like an ending. It felt like a sentence cut short. Something about the way they turned away told you this wasn't closure, it was avoidance. They carried words they didn't know how to say, and instead of risking honesty, they chose distance. People think leaving is easier than staying. It's not. Leaving requires silence, suppression, emotional restraint, and the ones who walk away without speaking their truth often believe they're protecting themselves or protecting you from pain. But silence doesn't dissolve emotion, it relocates it. That's why, in the days after they left, your life didn't return to normal. You felt echoes in small moments, a familiar thought at night, a sudden heaviness for no reason. Their energy didn't disappear because it never reached resolution. Your intuition noticed this immediately, not through logic, but through sensation, a quiet knowing that something was incomplete, that the story didn't finish where it stopped. They may have smiled, they may have acted sure, but certainty doesn't feel hollow, and what they left behind felt hollow, because it was missing honesty. This wasn't about love being gone, it was about love being unexpressed. 2. Why your intuition refuses to let it go. Intuition doesn't cling, it alerts, and what you've been feeling isn't attachment, it's awareness. Your inner sense recognizes unfinished emotional threads. When something matters deeply but remains unspoken, intuition keeps the signal active. You might wonder why you feel this when they're the one who left. That's because not everyone listens inwardly. Some people escape discomfort by staying busy, distracted, or emotionally closed. Others feel everything, even what isn't theirs to carry. You were the listener in this connection, the one attuned to shifts, pauses, unsaid truths. So when they walked away without voicing what mattered, your intuition became the holder of that silence. That's why random reminders surface. That's why you sense them during calm moments. Not because they're thinking of you consciously, but because emotional truth doesn't require permission to exist. Your intuition isn't asking you to chase them. It's asking you to understand what happened. 3. The message they never spoke. If they had spoken honestly, they would have said this: I felt more than I was ready to handle. Not everyone leaves because they don't care. Some leave because caring dismantles the version of themselves they've been hiding behind. Love exposes fear, connection challenges control, and for some, that's unbearable. So instead of saying, I'm scared of what this means, they say nothing. Instead of admitting, this matters, they retreat. Silence becomes their defense, but silence still communicates, and your intuition heard it clearly. The unspoken message wasn't rejection, it was conflict. They didn't know how to stay aligned with what they felt, so they chose disappearance over vulnerability. 4. Why you were left with the echo. You were left with the echo because you were open, present, emotionally available. When two people connect at different levels of readiness, the one who feels deeper often carries the residue. But carrying doesn't mean suffering forever. It means recognizing the truth without needing validation from the source. Your intuition isn't asking you to wait. It's asking you to release the confusion. Understanding doesn't reopen wounds. It closes them properly. The moment you stop questioning your perception is the moment the echo softens. 5. When the message finally stops whispering. There comes a moment when the quiet stops feeling heavy. Not because the past disappears, but because your relationship with it changes. This is the moment you're approaching now. The point where the unspoken message no longer circles your mind like a question, but settles into understanding. What you've been feeling wasn't meant to pull you backward. It was meant to bring you inward, to teach you how clearly you perceive emotional truth, even when no words are offered. This experience sharpened your intuition, not weakened it, and that's something you carry forward, not something you leave behind. You may notice the intensity shifting. The sudden waves of emotion don't hit as hard. The thoughts arrive, but they no longer demand answers. That's not forgetting, that's integration. The message your intuition kept hearing has already delivered itself. It didn't need confirmation from them, because it was never about their response. It was about your awareness. At some point, you'll realize you're no longer waiting. Not for a message, not for an apology, not for an explanation. The silence that once felt charged now feels neutral. And neutrality is freedom. This is where emotional power quietly returns to you. You understand now that people don't always leave because love is absent. Sometimes they leave because love disrupts the structure they rely on. That understanding removes the sting. It turns confusion into compassion without requiring reconnection. And here's the most important shift. You stop interpreting the echo as a sign to look back. Instead, you recognize it as proof that you are deeply perceptive, that you feel beneath surfaces, that you listen beyond language. The story didn't end unfinished. It ended unspoken, and there is a difference. What comes next isn't replacement, it's alignment. The next connection you step into won't require interpretation. It won't live in pauses or silences. It will meet your awareness openly. Because once you recognize your intuitive strength, you stop accepting emotional ambiguity as love. This chapter refined your emotional standards. It taught you that intuition is not anxiety, that sensing isn't imagining, and that clarity doesn't always come from conversation. It often comes from stillness. You don't need to close this door forcefully, just stop standing in it. When you do, the message that once echoed fades, not because it was false, but because it has been fully understood. And that's when you finally move forward, not carrying the past, but carrying yourself. Final message. Not every truth arrives as a conversation. Some arrive as awareness. You felt what they couldn't say because you were meant to, not to hold on, but to understand, heal, and move forward with clarity. The connection wasn't a mistake, and neither was its ending. It revealed your depth, your sensitivity, your intuitive strength. Trust that. What's meant for you will never leave you in silence. If this message resonated with you, your intuition is already guiding you here. Subscribe to this channel for deeper emotional clarity, intuitive insights, and messages meant to find you at the right moment. You're not alone, and you never were.